Hello, and thank you for watching. My name's Craig D'Souza. I'm the CEO of the Creative Industry Association, and today I bring you a very, very dear friend, a very, very old friend, who's been in the industry as long as I have, if not longer. Less of the old. And we welcome Barry Short, Sales Manager for Creative Expressions. Barry, hello and welcome.
Thank you very much. Lovely to be here.
Brilliant. And so, first of all, Barry, for those people that might not know who you are, I don't know if that's possible, just tell us who you are and what you're doing and what you're up to at the moment.
Okay, I'm Barry Short. I'm Sales Manager here at Creative Expressions. We are obviously, with every other business, trying to do things in the new way with all the lockdowns and sales teams off the road and no trade shows. So we're all trying to do the best we can to get the information about all new products out to all of our customers around the globe and get the orders in. That's the most important thing at this point.
Get the orders in. Now, has that been, obviously, Barry, you've been in the industry, as I said, right at the get-go for a long time with various different hats on.
20 years, 20 years.
No, you know, this is a big year for me as well. It's my 20th year in the industry, 50 this year. And 10 years doing associations, so it's quite a bit of a big year for me. But it is a long time, and you've been in the industry. And one of the things that I think people forget is that this industry does have peaks and troughs. It does kind of, have the skills and the interests change virtually every couple of years. But it also, I mean, you've been in the industry so long, but you've also seen it struggle. This isn't our first kind of struggle. It's probably the biggest kind of struggle, but it isn't the first.
I think there's been different kinds of struggles. Sorry, I just spoke over you. Sorry, Craig. Yeah, it's been different struggles through the years. You know, at the beginning of my career, scrapbooking had just come to England. So I literally got into the industry at the beginning of scrapbooking. When I can't remember what the company was called that used to do add loads of reps going to parties around people's houses. But basically, yeah, I started with a company called the Scrapbook House, and to begin with, for the first 18 months of my career, I was ringing up, wool shops and stationery shops, trying to convert them into to buy scrapbooking products. But it was the hardest time to get into it ever. But once you can get through that, and once it really started to take off, things were really easy for a few years. We were riding the crest of a wave. I remember when I went to Sizzix, when the Big Shop was first launched all those years ago, converting people to die cutting. It was a really exciting roller coaster ride. I mean, even if you look at the recessions that I think I've worked through. I think there's probably been at least 2 recessions during my career. And actually, although that's a tough time for Main Street retail, recessions really get people into the craft mood, the make do and mend mentality. It's even now we're sort of back there again now with the massive rise of upcycling. You've got all this old furniture that people are slapping a lick of paint on and doing a bit of optimization and bringing things back to life, which is really great. So although tough times, people have been at home with lots of time on their hands and they have turned to crafting, which is great. For years, Craig, we've been talking about where's our audience. We've been talking about Gene, and Gene by now is knocking on a bit. And we've always said, as part of the associations through the years, is we need to generate the next audience. How can we do this? And I think one massive positive that's come out of the COVID era is that people have stayed at home. They've all started crafting with their grannies, with their mothers, their aunties, making cards, upcycling, all these amazing things that have sparked interest. And I just hope that we manage to take that audience forward when we come out the other end of COVID, and we've got a really great audience to talk to. We just need to support our independent retailers to get them through this, because that's going to be the
I think that is the key. It's you're absolutely right. It's converting those one-time purchasers that have kind of got into craft actually into now crafters and supporting retailers. And just before we jumped on here, me and Barry were talking as we natter like a pair of old women. But we were kind of talking. It's important that through all of these struggles and especially this pandemic, that businesses adapt to change and adapt in a positive way. And adapting and changing your business model of stuff that you've always done is scary, but it does need to happen. Now you've been at Creative Expressions. Now I know that Creative Expressions do a host of trade shows. How have you kind of adapted to still trying to connect with your retailers and supporting them? What are the things that you done?
Well, I mean, at the beginning, it was all a bit scary. Everybody closed, and we were like, how are we going to do this? I mean, who'd heard of Zoom this time last year? What a tool! And then obviously Microsoft Teams. I think the hardest bit was learning the new technology and trying to transfer the things that you would normally do on a face-to-face basis, put that online. Yes, our audience loves to touch and feel and look and stroke, and obviously that little bit's gone, although there are things you can do. So for example, we've just last week we did a virtual retailer show. We did one a bit earlier in the year for our US customers, but we did one last week for our UK. It takes a lot more planning, but you can get loads more meetings done in a day than you normally can. The way we went about it is, so we've got, you'll see behind me, these are a lot of our new releases that have just come out. So what we did is we put together some sample boxes. So we engaged our customers, invited them for a meeting, and then we sent them a box with all the one of each of the bits and pieces that they were going to need, so that they could at least touch and feel. So every line we gave them at least one. We put on workshops with our demonstrators, 4 workshops last Wednesday that was, and they were about an hour and a half, so they could either work along with us and make a project or make samples, or they could just use the products in the box to refer to, or at least show their customers. Amazingly successful. Retailers were crying out for it, and you don't want to go off half-cocked. You need to think these things through. It's not something you can just throw together in 2 minutes. But our team here worked really hard to put this together in about 2.5, 3 weeks, and I would say it was as effective as the last stitches we did. That's for sure. Obviously, you can't open it up to the entire customer base. You have to be focused because there's only so many meetings you can do in a day. And I can tell you, at the end of Friday evening, we were pretty battered. I looked forward to a beer in the sun on Friday evening when I got home. So, but yeah, no, it's just about doing things in a different way and finding out the ways to do it. Even Facebook Lives and online workshops, these things weren't really done before because people didn't like them, or they didn't know how to get online. All of a sudden, there's a whole generation of crafters that are now up to speed. Retailers change forever. It's sad. It is sad that a lot of the independents are really going to have to fight for their business. But there's a new way of doing things. If you can be dynamic and you can get into the new way of doing things, then business can still continue and grow.
But here's the thing. Everyone says retail has changed forever, and that's a scary thing.
Very.
But we've been here before. We've been here before, and that was the dawn of the internet. Harry, me and you were in this industry when websites and online sales came in.
I remember, Craig, when we used to not take a customer on if they only had a website. I mean, how mad was that? But at the time, you have to support the bricks and mortar, the people with the massive overheads. Now, don't get me wrong, there are overheads for websites, but we had to navigate our way through that and try and keep everybody happy. We've got 2 customers, 2 types of customer, and both are equally as valid. So, yeah,
Yeah,
You're right.
I think you're right, but I think we are all still very much focused on protecting and supporting the bricks and mortar shops. But I think that they also need to change. We talk about this, making them destinations now, making sure that they are hosting workshops when things get back to normal. It's making them destinations, making them clean inside, and making them something that looks engaging and inspiring. But is that just now the natural progression to move forward? Because all of these things that you've done in terms of the online stuff and all of the stuff that I see other retailers doing with online workshops, it has got to dovetail into that still physical community element, has it not? I mean,
Yeah, no,
is
absolutely,
that be the
absolutely.
key to?
I think every shop
I think,
needs a focus point. Not a celebrity, but a person with a character that can run the classes and all those sort of things, but also to drag people in through the front door when stores are open. You need people buy from people, and if you've got a really friendly face working in your shop who can advise and educate, as well as do online classes and things like that to keep them rolling. I think your businesses will be okay.
yeah.
But that's where it is now. Education still is the key.
Yeah. And I think that's quite important for what you're doing for Creative Expressions, is educating your retailers about the new releases, about the brands and products, so that you for retailers that are listening and watching is engage with Creative Expressions, because they're going to teach you how to use a product, what it is, and give you more knowledge about that product. Because if you're knowledgeable about the product, surely you can then sell that product or product a bit better.
Absolutely.
Would that be right?
For every product that we release, we've got a consumer-facing website, which is where consumers can come and they can get all the inspiration that they could need. There's also videos for every single product that we make to teach you how to use it. So if you haven't got we haven't been able to go into a store and watch a demonstrator or see how they do it. So video is the key. So we've got a YouTube channel with hundreds of videos on there. But like I said, every single product has a video. We also put projects on our website, so people can actually our customers can run them in their stores as classes, and we tell them everything that's involved in that. But also, consumers can watch those videos, and then they can order the product from their local retailer that stocks them. We don't sell direct to consumers and through our Creative Expressions website. We still 100% believe in retailers. They're the guys on the front line, and we do everything we can to support them so that they can support their customers.
So, I mean, all the links are going to be at the end of this video for retailers to get involved with you. But what would be your top tips for anybody that wants to get involved in Creative Expressions? They're thinking of, or they don't stock the products at the moment, or they're thinking of starting up. What's your top tips for these people that want to work with you guys?
Get onto our website, click on the trade section, fill out an application form to become a customer. And then send it back. And once we get that back, one of our reps will be in touch to talk you through our products. Obviously, from April 14th, they can get out on the road again and go and visit people. But we're one of the few companies that have still got reps on the road. We totally 100% believe in them. They are the middle ground that can advise and support. We're not a hard sell company. We are there to make the retailer's job easier. We put our product on the television, but we always make sure there's a good lead time so that our retailers can opt. They get told what's on the telly, what date, and they are asked if they want to invest in them, so that they've got the product that's on the TV. That's always a great thing. We don't really do exclusive launches on the TV because it is all about the independent retailer. And if any of them come to us with a problem, we will jump all over it, and we do what we can to keep them happy and to keep them trading and keep them rolling. That's the whole point.
Fantastic. I think that's really good, and obviously helping to support those retailers. I think retailers always kind of look at the big guys and go, they're not supporting me, but actually you are, and they just probably need to hear that. So just two more questions for you. One is picking your brain, your 20 years of experience, knowledge. We've seen how this industry has changed, and it also affects people in a positive way. What's your a top tip or a couple of top tips for anybody, any business getting into this industry?
Wow. What is my top tip for people getting into this industry? Talk to your customers. Learn about the products you sell. Product knowledge is 100% key to success. Have a broad horizon. Do not only order the things that you like. Keep abreast of trends. That's one of the biggest mistakes for retail as far as I'm concerned. I don't like those, so I'm not going to sell them. Yeah, but they've sold 1,500 units to somebody else. Being in touch with your customers, be the service that they require. Obviously it's nice to have your individual character in your stores and the things that you do, but know your customer is key, and know your product. 1,000,000%. Yeah,
I think that's really great advice. Definitely know your customer and service them. And I think even now, if you've got a bricks and mortar and they're not coming to you, or if you've got a website and they're not visiting you, connect with them, engage with them, send them an email or something. But I think you've got it little and often is the key. I think with all these sorts of things, but just engage with them, and then that will grow from there, I believe. I think that's really great advice, Barry. Thank you so much. And your last question, which is word of intent. I'm asking all experts and business people about their words of intent for this year. Mine's are challenge and inspire. I want to challenge myself to be a better person, challenge myself to make sure that the association is far better than what it could be. So challenge is a big word for me. And then inspire is that I want to make sure that I'm always continuing to inspire businesses and people to be the best people and best businesses they could possibly be. So do you have a kind of word that you think you want to hang your hat on for this year?
You know what? I do. And it's come to me in the last couple of minutes. I've got two. One is live. Get out there and live. We've now experienced 12 months of being locked in our houses. I think that has taught us all a lot. I think it's taught us that community is important. I think it shows that friends are important. But that's the key thing. Get out there and live. And second is create memories. You have to create memories. That's what when you're sitting in your house all day working from home, and at the end of the day, at the end of the week, it's gone by like that. That's because all we've been doing is working and sitting indoors and looking at TVs or whatever. And don't get me wrong, some of it's been quite nice to take a bit of a step back, but we haven't created any memories, so the days are flying by. Get out there, see your friends, communicate, and once we're allowed to, hug everybody. That's the one thing I've missed massively. I've missed a hug from you, Craig, this year. Usually we've just got back from Germany, or we've had a nice time, and friends mean everything. And contact, community. That's it for me.
Yeah. I honestly think that they are beautiful. I expect nothing less from you with beautiful words like that, especially with live and creating memories. And I know that you do that in bagfuls. Every time I see your posts that you put up, which is fantastic to see. But absolutely great, and a great addition to our kind of word wall that I'm putting together, which I'll hopefully get out in the next couple of days. But for now, Barry, it's been a fantastic insight into you and into creative expressions. I cannot thank you enough for taking the time to talk to me briefly, because I know how immensely busy you are. So for now, I shall say thank you very much. And for anybody that's watching, click the links at the bottom to contact Barry and visit Creative Expressions.
Thank you so much, Craig, for this time. Thank you for the job that you do. You do an amazing role. And as you know, if there's anything we can do to support you, you just got to pick up the phone. And hopefully next time I see you, we can have a pint.
Let's do that. Brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thanks a lot, Craig.